finally have time to start planning and working on this backyard golf course. This is like rough, raw land. There's nothing pretty about this picture right now. It's kind of just an old gravel pit is what it was 50, 60 years ago. So they left us with this shape. We were fortunate enough to get the property, build a house here, and I don't really want to look out the window at an old gravel pit full of weeds and dirt and dust blowing around. So the plan is to do a small backyard golf course. That still sounds intimidating when I say it. So the property ends just past that flag. I think you can see that white flag down there. I'd like to do 2 greens here. We have to put one here, which is shockingly close to the house. It's maybe 50 to 60 feet, which I'm feeling a little bit of pressure there. We'll walk through the property. I've got about 110 yards, 105 maybe between pin to pin, depending on where they are. The goal here is to get the kids outside and active, right? I'll take a walk through the property now and we'll show you the layout of what I'm planning. So this is the front yard of the house. I didn't record any of this, but this is what took me all summer. It was a big job. There's about 18,000 square feet here of topsoil, landscape sloped and seeded with 100% Kentucky bluegrass. That was about a month ago, so it's coming in slow, but really wanted to take a crack at the 100% Kentucky bluegrass. I'll probably use that on the rough mixture in the golf course, but we've got irrigation, 7 zones, 31 sprinkler heads, 1,200 feet of pipe. It was a big shift. So bit of a wake-up call. This was sort of my test plot that I wanted to do. Didn't record any of it, like I said, but just wanted to get a nice lawn here. This was like forest 2 years ago, so definitely a big job, a wake-up call. But yeah, learned a ton that I can use back there at the golf course. So we'll run back there now. So just to give you kind of a visual of the property, that was the bluegrass lawn that we were up on there, and then it comes back around here to the backyard that I call the golf course. It's not really a golf course yet. So this is a really good look here, a really good angle to show you the issue I have with this green up here. So I've got the basement doors right here. However, you can't have the water pour into your basement. Here in Canada, we freeze. Like last year, it was really cold. There was probably 12 inches of frost last winter. It was super cold. So when that snow melts, it can't go into the ground. So it just pours down these hills, and I don't want to go in the house. So that's why this is perfect grade, about 16-inch drop to the pond. All that water is going to go away from the house, and that's the key in the spring here. You can see the green is up there. We got a bit of a slope here, which I don't love. Have to soften it that I can mow. It's a little bit too sharp right now. But we'd still have to maintain this valley to get the water through. So that's one problem. There's many problems with this green. This hill is here. This is a giant hill, all the rock from there. I did a video, I think, on that where it pumped all the rock into this wall to hold that up. So that's got to stay there. Now the biggest problem I have here is this sectioned off area with these rocks. That is the septic bed. So septic tank's there. There's a pipe that comes under the green and goes to this bed. And it's a really nice prime area, but it's as far as I could push them that way. We still needed the septic bed. Let's be honest, it's probably more important than a golf green. Maybe, but I'm kind of mad because it would have been really nice to have a green like on here. So I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to have to dig this up in 10 years because I did put a golf green on it, and then you also lose your golf green because it gets torn up. So this is kind of it. I think this is where the green has to be. Septic bed, the hill has to be there. This valley has to be here. We'll walk down this way. It's a nice look. I think it kind of has that golf course feel. This pond, I love this pond. I did a couple videos on this pond. You can find those. I'll put them in the description below, but this pond was dug out. There was no pond here. It was just like this low-lying wetland grass area. So we dug this pond out 2-3 years ago maybe now. But I always wanted a pond, and we got like a ton of fill for the house for backfilling. It was like this pond maybe cost $3,000, and I got like $15,000 in fill from it. So it's actually paid us. We skate on it in the winter. I think there's a video of that where we made a rink too. Love the pond, and I think it's going to be a great part of the golf course. So we get down to this end, you can see the gravel pit. We kind of just like left it like that 50, 60 years ago. So there's a lot of shape here, but not a lot of good soil and not a lot of great trees, sort of just the tough trees that grow anywhere, like an old gravel pit. like I said, this one's quite easy to work on. The hardest part here is going to be not making it too big. Too big is too expensive and too much time to maintain. You could do a beautiful large screen here, but I have to talk myself into not doing that. This looked really good last fall when I kind of bulldozed it, but it has grown up into a lot of weeds. So yeah, this green, not a real issue with. You can kind of see it already roughed in. Like I said, that old flag's been there for a couple years, so this is fill that we put here, but it's so well packed now after 2 winters. A lot of rain, it's packed down. Got a lot of fill over there to move it. I can kind of sculpt around it. I want to do some moguls behind. So this is a really good look at the rugged landscape we're kind of working with here. Some really big old limestone, a ton of limestone on this property. A little bit of granite rock, but mostly limestone. We're fortunate to have a lot of width on this side of the property here. So that's the one large green. And then I think I can do a T-deck in this back corner, which would be nice. It would give you a long shot going back the other way. So could do a T-deck down in there. It's a bit shaded. I'm a little bit worried about that, but gives you a nice long straight run. So that green was just over here, just through there. There it is right there. There's the green. I think we could sort of take a little trek over here, and this is like the back edge of the property. It's a really nice look at a long tee shot. That would probably be like 120, 125 from here. So probably get rid of the cedar. But it's a nice flat area here that we could go back towards the house. Again, going towards the house is a bit terrifying, but it gives me an option when I look at it after. So now that you kind of saw the full length of the property, the reason I want that second green, I think, is just it's so much better when you can hit down to a green and then come back up. It's actually a really nice look down at that hole. Let's see if I can talk my wife into letting me put a T-deck right on the lawn here. That's a nice shot, eh? Potentially a T-deck here. I think with the 2 holes, if you can switch up a few T-decks, you can almost play 9 holes. But yeah, I think I could do possibly a T-deck up in here, maybe. Up on that ridge. It'd be short, but you could go both ways. Could possibly have a little, 40-yarder, 55, 60-yarder that way. We were looking at that far way behind the pond was that other one coming back at the house. So that would be another one. First one we looked at was just off to the right of the green. So that's 3. 1, 2, 3 for sure. Potentially a 4th there. Still close enough to irrigate. And then if I can give up some lawn here, could be 5. So I think if you had 5 T-decks on this property with 2 holes, like you wouldn't get bored. We'll run over to this one right now, and I'll show you that look. It's the best look in the property because you're going over the pond. So when we first walked this property, this is sort of the view that sold it for me. It's like it looks pretty good, right, for just a backyard. Now that the pond's there, remember there was no pond there before, but I love this look. It's probably 115, maybe 120 from back here to that green. So just a great length for wedge work and kids growing up, drivers to start. Trying to clear the pond, just a lot of fun. But I think with these little decks, they don't take a lot of work. One rotor here, watering it would be enough. So if I can get maybe 3, 4, 5 of them would be fantastic. Where I think you could go out for an hour and a half and play a really decent round in the backyard. So yeah, this was the sort of the view that sold it for me, and I think it still looks great. It'll be interesting to look back at this view right now, 2 years from now, and see how it looks. One thing I'm really going to have to worry about with this green that's just around the corner there at the house is water coming at it. This hill was kind of just a sand hill. So with all the remaining rock in the field, I want to get rid of that so that we can clean up the golf course area and just smooth that hill over. It's going to go in this hill here. I would never do this if I didn't have all the rock. It's just we have to get rid of the rock. It's kind of an ugly pile of heavy rock, so we'll kind of just go all across here and fill this hill up. So in a day or two it should look a lot different. It's a sandy hill, so it kept falling down, and we kind of put 2 and 2 together. So we took the rocks, had a guy come in with a excavator and a clam and plunked all this rock in here, and this was about 3 months ago. It looks so good, but then we got a hard rain, and then the next night we got another hard rain, and it's now washed out. You can kind of see the water really pours down here, hits here, and then goes this way. Everything got washed out. It looks so nice, and now it's just sad to look at. These rocks moved. I got to restack these a little bit here, but you can see how much water came down here. So if we have a little bit of an elevated golf green coming out here in front of me, it's going to create kind of a pinch point for the water to sit. So I'm going to have to make sure that water comes over here and flows sort of down this hill towards the pond. So I put some time in. Actually, everybody came out, family came out and filled the ruts from all the erosion, the washout. Got some sheep fescue planted up there. It's supposed to be like low maintenance, low growth grass, so trying to get that hill covered before we get another hard rain. But the mulch looks great. Hope to God that it doesn't wash out again, because I really don't want to do it again. This area here, as we get closer to the golf green, it's kind of just random granite rock here. The guy just threw it in there. We'll maybe do, if I really want to torture myself, we might do a waterfall, maybe. I don't know how much energy and money we have left after this backyard golf course. Gonna start finally picking at this green. I want to build it up. We got some fill in here that came from the driveway area, so I'm gonna try to get some time, get this fill maybe set up here for fall season before winter. Just kind of build some kind of shape here. And there's a ton of fill down there. I want to take it to the far golf green. So next up here is to really take some of this dirt and move it around the greens, build up the greens, really define them, start to take shape with it. And we also have a little bit of a rough area that I want to clear out, clean it up as we get a better look from the tee decks to the greens. I want to make sure those looks are good and clean. So we've got a lot of work here to do. Thanks for watching. I definitely appreciate it. And we'll be back here soon as the work continues.